Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to go through worded problems with quadratics. I have a question in mind and I'm going to go through the step-by-step format on how you get through with it. Let's begin with the question. This is the question here. There's a parallelogram here and it has one measurement, which is the height, the perpendicular height, and it's called h. And it says the length of the parallelogram is 6 centimeters more than its perpendicular height. The area is this, right? Show that it satisfies this equation and solve and so on. Now, some of you, when we start to read this question, you might start to get intimidated. Where did all this story come from? But that's okay. Don't focus on that. Let's focus on the first piece. And we can break it down into a few simple steps. This first piece says the length is 6 centimeters more than its perpendicular height. Now, this is the height here, and the length is here. And the length is unknown. But all we know is that it is 6 more than the height. So if the height is h, then this has to be 6 plus h, right? So once we have labeled this length and the height, now we could start to figure out the area. So I'll write up a solution for A. The area of a parallelogram will be the height by the length. Now in our particular sum, it will be h by 6 plus h. Now they gave us an answer for the area and they said it is 33.25 centimeters squared. So then what we need to do is put h by 6 plus h will be equal to 33.25. So that is getting somewhere. So what we should do is expand. So we get 6h plus h squared is equal to 33.25. Bringing it over here now, we'll bring everything on this side. Now the reason why I'm doing that is because if I go to part A, I'm seeing all my values here on one side, and on the other side I have just 0. So if I go across here, I will get h squared plus 6h minus 33.25 is equal to 0. Now reflecting on the answer that they gave us, on the part that they want us to prove, this value here does not look like this. In fact, their value says it has a 4h squared, and my answer here has 1h squared. So what I should do is actually manipulate my answer here, and probably for me to get a 4, I should multiply the entire equation, well, both sides, by 4. So doing that will give me 4h squared plus 6 by 4, 24h, and 33.25 by 4 will give me minus 133. And well, 0 by 4 will be 0. So hence, I got this. So once I could prove that from going through all these basic steps, I could get their answer, then I will write up, hence proven. So that, everybody, is the end of part E. Now let's move on to part B. Now for us to do part B, it says to solve this equation. Now this is a quadratic. So for me to solve, I could easily, well, I'm writing the equation first, and I could do two things. I could factorize and solve, and two, I could complete the square. So I prefer to complete the square. So let's begin. So I'll factor out the 4. Right, so that means each value has to divide by 4, and then I will complete the square for the inside piece here. So I'll get h plus 3 squared minus 33.25 minus 9, because I have to minus this 3 that was squared. Then I get 4. And this works out to be minus 42.25. And then I multiply this here by 4, which is really 1, and that here by 4. So I get 4 small brackets now, and that value by 4 gives us 169. So I put minus 169 is equal to 0. So this is the completing the square answer right here. But now they have said to solve, so I need to send over everything. So I'll get 4h plus 3 squared is equal to positive 169. Sorry. H plus 3 squared would be 169 divided by 4, which would be 42.25 and then I take the square root, because the opposite of squaring is square root. So I get the square root of 42.25, so that will give me 6.5. So it'll be a positive 6.5 and a negative 6.5. So my answers for H will be positive 6.5, sorry, minus 3, or minus 6.5 minus 3. So I'll get here 3.5 as one of my values, and then H will be minus 9.5. Now H really is the height, going back to here, right? It's the height of the shape. I cannot have a negative height. So then this answer I will not take. So then I will just say H is 3.5 centimeters. And that, everybody, is the solution for part B. Moving on now to part C. Now in this part here, this is part C, they have asked for to find the length of the base of the parallelogram. So now it's the first time they're using the word base, right? Because in the question before, they spoke about it as the different measurements, as this as the height and this as the length. This side here is the length, right? But we know that this really is the same thing for the base. So when they ask us to find the base of this parallelogram, they simply want us to convert the same equation we had for before, which was this side here is 6 plus h, into a value. So now we know h is 3.5 centimeters from before, from part B. So our base will simply be 3.5 plus 6. So that will be 9.5 centimeters. And that, everybody, takes us to the end of the question. I hope that you understand and realize that these questions they seem challenging, but they're really pretty easy once you break it down into a few simple steps. Thanks again for tuning in. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks again.